Hey guys, we are live. This is Spencer Bonin, your emotion and body code practitioner out here in beautiful Victoria, BC. Today I'm super excited. It's been a little while. I didn't do a couple of live healings in the last week, I think, maybe two. But yeah, today we're back at it again. We're doing another live emotion code session. Super, super excited because today we're going to be working with pain between the shoulder blades. And I can't recall if I've worked on this before live or not, but I know tons of people that I've met throughout my life that have had really serious pain between those shoulder blades. And I know I've myself kind of dealt with that in the past before as well. So this particular case is a little bit of extreme uh, severity. You're looking at our situation here. It's about a 9 out of 10. So I'm super excited to be able to see what we can do with this. So first and foremost, I'm just going to go make sure that I have Ramandeep on here with me. What we're actually performing this on his wife, Mandeep. So let's just check and let's just make sure. Oh, okay, you're already there. Perfect. Welcome. So you're already really good to go. Perfect. Okay. So today we're going to be doing this emotion code session. And what is an emotion code? So, and it's my pleasure to be able to show this to you because this revolution or this modality has completely changed my life for the better, like completely changed it. And I'm super excited that I get to share it with you. So what is the emotion code? So the emotion code, it's a book right now. This is the new emotion code forwarded by Tony Robbins. Here, let me go like this. Perfect. So now you can actually see that. So the emotion code, absolutely amazing book. So let's get back to this here. So with the emotion code, what is it? So it's a methodology or energetic healing methodology developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson, who's a chiropractor and basically formed this whole thing through prayer and through studying of older ancient medicines and all those kinds of things. So you can kind of think of it as it's in the same realm as like theta healing, bioenergetic synchronization technique, neural emotional technique, thought field therapy, those kinds of things. It's in that kind of realm. And what it is like the basis of it is throughout our lives we have these different experiences that we feel these really, really intense emotions. And if you look on this chart here, there's about 60 emotions on this chart. Technically there's more, but they found that or Dr. Brad found that generally speaking the body will find the correct emotion at the closest resonance to it. So if it's ever so slightly different, it'll actually find the closest one to it and still be able to clear it. So it makes it super simple and super streamlined. So what we do is we go through, we ask your body questions using something called muscle testing or applied kinesiology, which is just kind of like being able to do self muscle testing on my end. Or if someone was in person, I could do an arm test and stuff like that. But we have these experiences throughout our lives and we feel these emotions. And what happens is our body is overwhelmed at that time, and it almost like traps a little energetic ball of energy about the size of about a baseball to about the size of a cantaloupe, and it gets lodged somewhere in our body. And what happens is that that little ball of energy kind of starts to disrupt our energetic field, and it can cause all or be the source of or can contribute to all kind of different ailments. So it could be physical pain, it could be mental challenges, it could be potentially feeling like you can't maybe you had a past trauma with like betrayal and stuff like that, and maybe you keep running into like the same thing where you keep getting cheated on or business partners screwing you over, kind of things like that. So it's very, very cool. And it's a kind of, I don't want to say a one-stop shop, but there's a lot of trapped emotions that are involved with everyday day-to-day things, and anything you want to change in your life is nothing more than an energetic imbalance away. So it's super cool. So I'm super excited to be able to do this work with you guys. Thanks so much for joining me, Randeep and Mandeep. I'm super excited to see what we can do. So Mandeep, she's been dealing with this pain between her shoulder blades. It's about a 9 out of 10. She's been dealing it for a while, and she's actually gone to physio and stuff for this as well. And she figured that she wanted to try something else and just see what else is out there and see what we can do with it. So I'm super excited to be able to do this. So let's get right into this. So first and foremost, Ramandeep and Mandeep, I'm just going to take 5 or 10 seconds, and we're just going to quickly ask for help from above, and then we're going to get right into this, and I'll kind of explain it as I go. So let's just take 5 or 10 seconds here. Awesome. Okay. So we're connected here. So now what's really cool with the emotion code is, like I was saying with muscle testing, I can actually connect to Mandeep, and I can ask her her body questions, because her body knows exactly what happened to her throughout her entire life, and knows in the minute detail exactly what the events are, the trapped emotions are that we can release from her body. So these so basically what I'm going to do is I'm just, she gave me her permission to be able to connect with her. So I'm just going to ask the question, can I be a proxy for Mandeep? And the answer is yes. So this is the way the muscle testing works. The ring and ring method, I basically have my fingers like this, and I can go, give me a clear yes or give me a clear no. And if it's a yes, my fingers almost have this, like basically have the strength to stick together. And if it's a no, they break apart. So then I can get a clear yes and a clear no. And I'm asking her body a series of yes or no questions. Now, if I'm a proxy, that's kind of what the term for long distance healing is. So I can actually, us as humans, we have the unique ability to push aside our own subconscious needs on the benefit of someone else. So I can actually take on her subconscious and actually get responses in my body that are reflecting her body, which is super, super cool. So then we can really get right down to the bottom of what we need to look for. So now all we do is we ask the question, can I be a proxy for Mandeep? And I can. So my name is Mandeep and my name is Spencer. My name is Mandeep. Super awesome. So let's see. So now we ask the question, are there any trapped emotions that are contributing to the pain between the shoulder blades right now? Yes. Okay. Or contributing to that pain that you're experiencing between your shoulder blades. And the answer is yes. Okay. So how many trapped emotions are there? Is it less than 5? It is. Okay. Is it 1 emotion? Is it 2 emotions? Okay. Just 2. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. So what is the first emotion that we need to do? Now, if you look at the chart here, it's kind of divided into column A, column B, and then you have 6 rows. So the cool thing is it just breaks it down super quick, that we can find these emotions really, really fast and clear them like super crazy fast. And really what we do in the emotion code is we use something called magnets. I'm sure you've heard of them, but we just use a magnet, and that's how we kind of clear the emotions. Because I don't know if you've ever seen like a debit card or a credit card, and if you've ever taken a magnet to that, if you ever take a magnet to a credit card or a debit card along that magnetic strip, it actually deletes the information from the card. So that kind of renders the card useless, and it deletes the information completely, so you can't actually use it. We're kind of doing the exact same thing in the emotion code, except you're the debit card in a sense. So we have this thing called the governing meridian, which runs from the top of our lip, up our face, over our head, and all the way back down our body. And that one thing called the governing meridian actually is the main energy channel throughout our whole body. And if you've ever listened or seen or heard about like Kung Fu or Chi energy or Ki energy or whatever you want to call it, it's all these energy channels throughout our body, and that one meridian is the one that connects to every other meridian in the body. So that's kind of like our debit strip, and we can take a magnet with thought intention, we can think about that particular emotion and get rid of it, and then we actually delete it from our debit card, so to speak. So that's kind of the best way that I can explain that there. So let's just get into this and see what the first emotion is. So let's see. So give me yes, give me no. So there's trapped emotions there. What's the first emotion? Give me yes, give me no. Is it something in column A? Is it rows 1 through 3? Is it 4 through 6? Is it row 4? Is it row 5? Is it row 4? Is it row 5? Is this 6? Row 5. Is this inherited? No. Is it blaming? Is it dread? Is it fear, horror, peeved? It's actually dread. Interesting. So like really, really not wanting to do anything. So as we go through this, by the way, Ramandeep, I'm just going to be asking you a couple of questions, or Mandeep, and then Ramandeep, if you want to respond, or whoever's kind of behind the wheel of the texting or the typing, I'm going to find an emotion, and then I'll kind of come up with an age, and then that way you can let me know if that kind of rings a bell. You don't have to get very specific with it. You don't have to tell us exactly what happened, but in like a quick sentence or two, just say like, yep, that makes sense. Or you can say, it could be school life, could be family life, something like that. So I'll just throw the question to you every time we get to an emotion. So let's see. So give me a skin. So when did this dread get trapped? And you're 32 years young. So let's see. So give me a skin. Was it before the age of, was it before the age of 15, before the age of 10, age 11? So roughly age 11. I don't know if you, if that makes sense for you, Mandeep. But the cool thing is because we're completely not disregarding, but we're bypassing the conscious brain, we can actually just ask the body, like, do we need to know anything else about this dread before we release it? And your body says no. So generally speaking, so can we release it? So all we do is we just take our magnet here and we go, thinking with the thought intention of releasing that dread. And typically I do 3 swipes. I do a couple more just for fun. It just doesn't hurt. But then we ask the body, did we release that trapped emotion of dread? And we did. Okay, sweet. So now we can move on to the second emotion. Now, Ramandeep or Mandeep, does that age, that emotion? Dad passed away. Okay. Fair enough. So let's ask. Give me yes, give me no. Does it have to do with that event? It does. Okay. Perfect. Okay. And that's all we need to know. That's the beauty about this work, is we don't have to get into the crazy stories or anything. We just have to sometimes we just need to know a little bit more of what's going on, and that's totally fine. And that's all we need to know. So let's see. So the second emotion, is it in column A? Is it in column B? Is it rows 1 through 3? Is it 4 through 6? Is it row 4? Is it row 5? Okay, so B5, is this inherited? No. Give me a clear yes, give me a clear no. Is it conflict? Is it creative insecurity? Is it terror? Oh, so terror. Okay, when did this terror get trapped? Give me a yes, give me a no. Was it before the age of, we'll say before age 15, before age 10, before age 5, age 6, age 7. So roughly age 7 is when this terror got trapped. And I don't know if that makes sense for you, Mandeep. You can let us know in the comments if there's anything there that makes sense, but let's ask. Is there anything else we need to know about this terror? No. Can I just get rid of it? Yes. Okay. So let's just take our magnet. Let's just release this trapped emotion of terror. Give me yes, give me no. Did we release that terror? Yes, we did. Okay, perfect. Yes, give me no. Are there any other trapped emotions that we can release right now contributing to that pain between your shoulder blades? The answer is no. So what I'm going to do, Ramandeep and Mandeep, I'm actually just going to get you to stand up and maybe walk around 10 or 15 steps just to kind of help integrate some of that stuff. And then once you do that, you can just, if you want to say how your shoulder blades are doing and how that pain is doing, is it still a 9? Has it gone down? Is it gone up to a 10? I don't know, but let's find out. And then in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll check and see if there's any hidden trapped emotions. So let's see. So give me a are there any hidden trapped emotions? Yes. Okay. How many hidden trapped emotions are contributing to the pain between your shoulder blades here? Is it less than 5 emotions? Is it 1 emotion? Is it 2 emotions? Is it 3 emotions? Okay. So let's see here. 2, 3. Okay. And before I go any further, I'll just wait till you guys let me know how you're doing over there. Well, maybe I'll find the first one. Give me now. What's the first emotion here? Or first hidden? And hidden emotions, they're the exact same thing as regular trapped emotions, except for whatever reason, you just need to ask the question, are there any hidden emotions? And it's almost like your body saying like, okay, fine, here they are. Like you got me, here they are. So we're doing the exact same process. It's just now they're called hidden trapped emotions. So yeah, Ramandeep or Mandeep, if you want to just let me know how you're doing there. And then we'll just find the first emotion here, or first hidden emotion. Give me a is it in column A? Is it in column B? Is it rows 1 through 3? Is it 4 through 6? Is it row 4? Is this inherited? No. Is it depression? Is it frustration? Frustration. Okay, so when did this frustration get trapped? Give me a was it before the age of, before the age 15, 15 to 20, age 15, 16, 17, 18, age 18, and frustration. How are you doing over there? Perfect. Okay, so like before at the beginning of the session, it was about a 9 out of 10, pretty intense pain. Where would you say that pain is now on the scale of 0 to 10? Just to ask. Before I release this next trapped emotion. So you see, so she's feeling better, so that's great. But let's see if we can get a little bit more specific, just see how that's doing on that scale there. By the way, those over here who are watching, I apologize. There's a little bit of a delay between like the streaming service and the live video. Oh, perfect. So it's gone to about a 6. So sweet. So we've already lowered it by about a third. So that's awesome. So now let's get right in there. And then so now that we found the first hidden emotion, so Can we release that emotion? Yes, we can. Okay, so let's just release this hidden trapped emotion of frustration. Give me a clear yes, give me a clear no. Did we release that? Yes. Okay, so second hidden trapped emotion. Let's find out what that is. Give me yes, give me no. Is it in column A? Is it rows 1 through 3? Is it row 1? Is it row 2? Give me yes, give me no. Is this inherited? Ooh, okay. Is it is it anxiety? Is it despair? Despair. So inherited from. So the really, really cool thing with this stuff is that we can actually work with bloodlines and family trapped emotions. And what's really interesting is not only can you have your own trapped emotions with your own experiences, but you can actually have these little balls of energy get passed down to you at the moment of conception from one of your parents, and it can actually go back several generations, and it's almost like in the gene pool, so to speak. Now, the really, really cool thing with that is that, one, not everything is your fault, so that's great. So that it's not all your stuff, so you can kind of take a load off your back, which is kind of cool. But secondly, is when we release a trapped emotion from you, it actually releases from every single person that's ever had that entirely. So it's so cool, and I love being able to go back and find these. So let's see. So give me yes, give me no. So this is inherited. Okay. So who did you get this despair from? And by the way, despair is like a complete lack of or loss of hope, and like feeling like you can't be comforted, or no one can comfort you in any way. Like you're just unapproachable, distraught. Like, yeah. So that's kind of what despair is. So who did you get this from? Was it from your mom? No, it's from your dad. Okay. Give me yes, give me no. What's from your dad? Is it multiple generations? Is it more than 5? Is it 1, 2 generations? Okay. So you got this from your dad. Did he get this from his dad, his mom? So you got this from your grandma on your dad's side. Okay. So do we need to know anything else about this despair? No. And the cool thing with this is because we're clearing it from everyone, we do have to do a little bit more work where we do 10 swipes instead of 3. So we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and one for good luck. Did we release that trapped emotion of despair? Yes. Okay. So awesome. So the third trapped emotion here, hidden emotion, is it something in column A again? Is it rows 1 through 3? Is it 4 through 6? Is it row 4? Is it row 5? So A5 again, is this one inherited? No. Yes, give me no. Is it blaming? Is it dread? Is it fear? So fear. So being really scared of something. When did this fear get trapped? Was it before the age of, give me no, before the age of, before age 20, before age 15, age 16? So age 16, do you need to know anything else about this fear? No. Can I just release that? I don't know if that makes sense for you, Mandeep. Do you need to know anything else about it? Can I just release it? Cool. Let's just release this trapped emotion of fear at age 16. Did we release that? Yes. Cool. Okay. Are there any other hidden trapped emotions we can release right now contributing to that pain between your shoulder blades? The answer is no. Perfect. Awesome. Give me no. Are there any psychic traumas? There are, and I'll explain what those are in a bit. How many psychic traumas are there? Is it less than 5? Is it 1? Is it 2? Okay. So there's 2 psychic traumas here. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do, Mandeep, is I'm just going to get you to do the same thing you did before. I want you to stand up, walk around about 10 or 15 steps, and then from there, just kind of feel around, feel your shoulder blades, see how it's doing. And then once everything's there, once you're done, just check it. Once you're done walking, check in and see with your shoulder blades and see where it's at. Is it still at a 6 out of 10? Is it still, is it lower? Is it higher? Speaking of which, I'm just going to put this here. And then as far as explaining what a psychic trauma is, so a psychic trauma, guys, it's the exact same thing for the most part as a trapped emotion, except it's instead of being 1 emotion, it's actually 2 or 3 emotions. So, or more depending, but typically it's 2 or 3, mostly 2. So the way it works is instead of just being like an emotion of crying or an emotion of grief, it could have been a traumatic event where you experience those 2 emotions at the exact same time. And it's like these 2 emotions are kind of are fused together into another kind of a unique ball of energy, similar to a trapped emotion, but we label it as a psychic trauma, or these days we call it an emotional compound, for obvious reasons. Yeah, so before I dive into the psychic traumas, Ramandeep and Mandeep, I just want to check and see how's that pain between the shoulders doing right now. on a scale of 0 to 10. And I'll go through and I'll find the first psychic trauma, or at least I'll start the process. So give me a clear yes, give me a clear no. So for the first psychic trauma, how many emotions are there? Is it just 2 emotions? It is. Okay. Can we find them? Yes, we can. Okay. So for the first psychic trauma, what's the first emotion? Is it something in column A? No. Is it in column B? Rows 1 through 3? Is it 4 through 6? Is it row 4? Is it row 5? Yes, okay. So it's still the same. Oh, I guess I put it in the right place. Perfect. Okay, so it's still the same. Oh, I called it. 10. Okay, no worries. So let's just get through here. So let me just ask this again. Let me just reset. So the first emotion, is it something in column A? Something in column A. Is it rows 1 through 3? Is it 4 through 6? Is it row 4? Is it row 4? Is it row 5? Give me a second. Is this inherited? Okay. Is it inherited? Inherited blaming, inherited dread, inherited fear, inherited horror. Oh, that's fun. So inherited horror. Who did you get this horror from? Give me a second. Was it from your mom? From your mom this time? So it's from your mom. Okay. Is it multiple generations? Is it more than 5? Is it more than 5? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4 generations this time? So you got this from your mom. Did she get this from her mom? Yes. Did she get this from her mom? Yes. Yes, did she get this from her mom? Yes. Okay. So, and this is for the psychic trauma. So we found the first emotion of horror. Let's find the second emotion now. So give me no. So the second emotion, is it in column A? Is it in column B? Is it rows 1 through 3? Is it 4 through 6? Is it row 4? Is it row 5? Is it row 4? Is it row 5? Is it conflict, creative insecurity, terror, horror, and terror? That doesn't sound like a very fun event, whatever that happened to be, 4 generations ago. So let's see. That's the lineage of that psychic trauma. Okay, do we need to know anything else about this horror and terror? No. Can we just get rid of it? Awesome. So let's just release this trapped psychic trauma of horror and terror from about 4 generations ago. There we go. That's 10, I think. That's did we release that trapped emotion, or that psychic trauma of horror and terror? Yes. Okay, sweet. Perfect. So let me see. So give me yes, give me no. So second psychic trauma, can we find the emotions? Yes. Is it 2 emotions? Is it 3 emotions? Oh, okay. So 3 emotions. Okay. So this doesn't happen very often, but let's see. So the first emotion, is it something in column A? Is it in column B? Is it rows 1 through 3? Is it 4 through 6? Is it row 4? Is this inherited? Is it depression? Is it frustration again? Okay, so frustration. What's the second emotion? Give me is it something in column A? Is it rows 1 through 3? Is it 4 through 6? Row 4? Is it row 5? So A5 again. Give me is it blaming? Is it dread again? So frustration, dread, and what's the third emotion? Give me something in column A. Is it rows 1 through 3? Is it row 1? Is it row 2? Give me is it anxiety, despair, disgust, nervousness, worry, anxiety? Okay, so when did this frustration, dread, anxiety combination thing come about? Give me was it before the age of, let's see, before the age of 15? Before age 15, before age 10, before age 15, before age 10, age 11, age 12, roughly age 12. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense for you, Mandeep, but let's see. So give me no. Do we need to know anything else about this frustration, dread, anxiety at age 12? No. Can we release it? Yes. Okay. So let's just release this frustration, dread, anxiety from age 12. Give me yes, give me no. Did we just release that psychic trauma? We did. Okay, perfect. So give me yes, give me no. Are there any other trapped emotions, or has anything else kind of surfaced now that we've done that? No. Okay. So give me yes, give me no. Are there any other underlying imbalances, or sorry, are there any other trapped emotions or anything else emotion code wise we can do with the pain between the shoulder blades right now? No. Okay. After dad's death. Interesting. Gotcha. I mean, it's kind of around the same time. Absolutely. So perfect. Okay. So give me yes, give me no. I'm just going to ask, we actually went through this one pretty quick. So, do you have any other, or are you still open to, are you still open to healing? No, actually. Okay, so perfect. Okay, so I just want to check in Ramandeep and Mandeep. I just want to check and see where is that like so go for like a little bit of a walk again, maybe like 15, 20 steps. And then after that walk, just check and see where that shoulder pain is. Because I know it went from a 9 down to about a 6, stayed around a 6. So let's see where we this kind of went to. And with that, guys, like that's basically the emotion code. So end of session. So that's kind of how this works. So basically, we look at it. We find some trapped emotions, we find some ages, and then we basically just release those trapped emotions that are contributing to it. And I'm super excited to see where the number went down to see um, kind of about where the pain level is. Because if we were able to go bring it down a bit, it's super cool. Because thinking about something that's for someone that goes to physio or like gets like a lot of doing like a lot of stretching stuff like that, like we always think that these pains that we have in our life are, you know, they have to be this way, or they have to, oh, I slept wrong and all this other kind of stuff, right? Or you know, whatever it is, like especially if it's a higher one like that, like 9 out of 10, there could be some other stuff going on like body code stuff as well, but at this moment the body's kind of like, okay, that's all I can handle right now, let me kind of recalibrate and get adjusted there. So it's about a 5. Okay, so about a 5 out of 10. So let me just check to make sure. Give me a clear yes, give me a clear no. My name is still Mandeep. Okay. Is there anything else we can do emotion code wise right now contributing to the pain between the shoulder blades? And the answer is no. Yes, you know, can we do anything body code wise? No. Can we ask, you know, is your body open to healing at all? No, you just need to process. Okay. So you do just need to process what's going on there. What I noticed with this work too is like sometimes you see some pretty quantum jumps. Like you see it like we just kind of did. We went from a 9 down to a 5 without the use of like drugs or band-aids or anything like that. But so there's two types of healing, or there's two types of timings. The first one is the treatment time. So it's like in the treatment, we can see big jumps like down from a 9 down to a 5. Other times, and then beyond that, there's something called healing time. So sometimes what happens is, because really what we're doing is we're releasing imbalances from the body that is preventing the body from doing what it naturally knows how to do anyways. So because when you get a cut, your body knows exactly what to do. It can heal that cut. But for whatever reason, you know, if something isn't healing properly, or if there's something that's just not quite right, there's something blocking the body from doing its natural process of doing what it already knows how to do and has the innate intelligence to do. So what we're doing now is we release the trapped emotion, or release the trapped emotions, release the psychic traumas. So that's kind of eliminating some of the immediate stuff. But then sometimes there's the healing time where the body just needs to take over and kind of do its own natural healing over the next little bit. So over a couple of hours, maybe a day or two. I know myself, I just had a treatment done. I had this kind of neck thing where like when I looked down, I had a pain in my mid back, and I did a treatment, and then it took about a day and a half to fully adjust. And then it finally took place. So it does take a little bit of time every once in a while, but sometimes you see that quantum shift. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, please drop a comment. If you have any, you know, if you're curious about this kind of work and have something that you'd like to see if we can work with it, please let me know. Aside from that, thank you so much, Mandeep and Ramandeep, for being on here. I really, really appreciate it. It's so much fun to be able to do this kind of stuff live and see the kind of changes that we can do right off the bat. So please, and then obviously let me know how things are going afterwards. Aside from that, you know, I'm also part of this group called the InsideOUT Institute, where basically we're combining this natural healing and emotional baggage clearing with the emotion code and the body code, where we're also combining that with the conscious work and all like dreams, goals, what to do, the action steps, all this kind of stuff. So we're fusing the two together in this program called the InsideOUT Institute, where it's a unique opportunity also for yourself to create a very, very lucrative career where you can maybe become a practitioner, or you can become a coach, and get paid very, very well to do so. So if something like that interests you, or if you really want to take your life to the next level and start applying, you know, breaking through and getting that emotional baggage taken care of, and also really going for your dreams and going for what you want, and you want to combine the two together in one program, definitely check out the link in the description. Send me a message, let me know. Aside from that, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we'll probably talk to you next week. See you guys.